right, we are on Tuesday the 19th. We're on a full body and we have a AMRAP, 15 to 20 minutes. So you can pick 16 minutes, you can pick 17 minutes, you can pick 20 minutes. That's up to you. And it stands for as many reps as possible or as many rounds as possible. We have walk out to plank, swings, air squat, burpees. So I will explain the structure later. Walk out to plank, back up here. Swings. Okay, air squat, we've talked about that before, which is just your body weight. And burpees. I'm going to show you slow, full, and half. Okay, walk out to plank. So you are going to, I think people call this inchworm also, but I like to call it walk out to plank. So you're gonna go down, pretty much touch your toes, walk out, out, out until you hit a high plank position. You're gonna hold it for a second, and you're gonna walk all the way back in. I always like to finish with my hands up. Sometimes I like to go down with my hands up. That was one. Walk, walk, walk. Try to keep your legs straight. Hit your high plank. Walk back in. Finish, okay? If you find that you can't walk all the way out, walk as far as you can. So if you can't make it that far, you can only do a couple of walks and then walk back in. That's fine. It's still gonna work your core. It's just obviously not as intense as doing a full plank. Swings. So we talked about swings before because we did our skier swings, which you had a weight on either side and you went like this. So this is gonna be the same thing, except we're gonna hold the weight like a traditional swing, which means you're gonna hold it in the middle. You can hold two in the middle. If you wanna go heavier, you can hold just one. I usually hold it by the top. Doesn't matter, but it's going in between your legs. So it's gonna be the same thing that we talked about, where you've got kind of like a pendulum swinging. You've got a hinge at the hip. Your butt is gonna go back toward the wall. Your back is gonna come down toward the floor, but it's gonna stay straight. And then when you bring it in, you're gonna thrust forward, squeeze your butt, kind of push your hips forward a little bit, back, forth, back, and forth. Now this time you're holding the weight like a traditional swing, which is gonna be in the middle of your legs, and it's gonna come up. In the middle, up, middle. You don't need to swing it way up. Some people even just do it like right here, because it's not really about your arms. It's about the pendulum swinging. So out, under, out. So when I come under with my legs, I'm way under my legs. I'm way in there, okay? Up, back, swing, back, swing. So a lot of people end up hurting their backs when they do kettlebell swings. And the reason for that is, number one, they're probably using too heavy weight. Number two, they're probably not keeping their back straight, and their back is probably arched when they come in instead of being like this. So so you can go as low as you want as long as your back is straight. But once you hunch your back and it gets round, that's when you get a problem. That's when you start to pull on your lower back. So a lot of times people use a heavy weight and they arch. So when they come from here up, they're really straining their lower back. So that's mistake number one. And mistake number two is when they come up, they do like a very exaggerated hip thrust and they arch the top of their back backward. So they're doing a big arch backward. You also don't need to do that. You just want to kind of, when you think about thrusting, you want to think about almost tucking your pelvis under, not so much arching this way. So when you come here and you come in, your shoulders might be slightly back versus more forward, but if you think about squeezing your butt and tucking your hips under, they're gonna kind of stop in place, okay? So here, stop. Here, stop. If you really squeeze your butt, it's gonna kind of stop versus going like this, okay? But if you're not sure, you can always film it, watch yourself in the mirror, or ask me if you feel like you're doing it wrong. And then we're gonna end with burpees. So a full burpee means that your chest is on the ground. So you're gonna have your hands here, You're gonna jump out into like a high plank, but you're gonna go all the way to the ground, so everything's on the ground. You're gonna push up, wide squat, jump, that's 1. So down, out, flop to the ground, up, squat, jump, 2, 3, 4. That's a full burpee. A half burpee is down, jump out to high plank, jump back in, up, 1, down, high plank, in, up, 2, down, high plank, in, up, okay? And then off of a height is your easiest, and you're gonna use your chair. Hands on the chair, jump out, jump in, jump up, down, jump out, jump in, jump up. If you're somebody who cannot jump, everything can be replaced with a step or no jump. So when you go, whether you're in off a height, half burpee or full burpee, you can always step out and step in instead of jump. And when you get to the finish, you don't have to jump up if you have jumping problems, okay? And that is, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't explain the AMRAP part. So if you've never done them before, it stands for as many reps or as many rounds as possible. What that means is there's a standard timer. So whatever time you pick, say you pick 17 minutes, you can either watch the clock for 17 minutes or you can set your timer, stopwatch, for 17 minutes, and it's just gonna run straight through, and you are just gonna perform these over and over and over again until your time is done. So you're not gonna treat it as rounds, you're not gonna treat it as anything except just keep going. You're gonna try to do as many as you can. So you might be able to do that list 6 times in a row before you need a breather, 10 times in a row before you need a breather. That's how you wanna do it. You don't wanna look at it as, I'm gonna do the 4, then I'm gonna take a break. Then I'm gonna do a 4, it's not supposed to be like a round. It's supposed to be very tiring. You're supposed to just get as much done as you can. So if you are curious on how much you do, which I always am, you're going to keep either a paper near you, blackboard, something near you where you can make a tally. So when you finish, you're gonna tally. Finish second, tally. Finish those 4, tally. Finish the 4, tally. So you're not gonna stop, but you're gonna stop just enough to tally. And then at the end, however many tallies that you have, you're gonna multiply by the number in front of the exercise, which is your reps, to figure out how many total reps that you got done. So say you did 15 minutes worth and you did 10. That means you did 10 walk out to plank, 150 swings, 150 air squats, and 50 burpees, okay? So you multiply how many tallies you have by the number. So the cool thing about these are, with an AMRAP, is that you always get a lot done because you're not focusing on the rounds, you just keep going, keep going, keep going. And you work hard, but it's a fairly short workout. Like, you might only do 15 minutes where you might have, you know, last week's leg rounds might have taken you 30 minutes or whatever. So it's kind of nice because you know you're not doing it for long, but you're pushing hard. So a lot of times you end up doing a lot in a short period of time. So that's the beauty of the AMRAP, is that you don't have to do it for long, but you get a lot done. So it's kind of like a bang for your buck kind of workout.